Hello, and I'm Mr. Hutchings. This is an overview of Unit 5 of the AP World History program, Revolutions from 1750 to 1900. Our primary themes today will be governance, economic systems, social interactions and organization, technology and innovation, and humans and the environment. Our key historical skills will be causation, continuity and change over time, and comparison. Around the year 1750, the world did not look calm, but it still looked familiar. Most people lived in large empires, kings ruled by tradition. Most work was done by hand. Travel and communication were slow. Social hierarchies felt permanent. By 1900, almost all of that had changed. Empires cracked. Kings were overthrown. Factories replaced workshops. Ideas moved faster than armies. And millions of people believed, for the first time, that society could be remade. This is what Unit 5 is about. Not just revolutions with flags and guillotines, but revolutions in thinking, production, power, and daily life. Between 1750 and 1900, the world became more tightly integrated than ever before. Global trade expanded. New technologies, steam engines, steel mills, railroads, and telegraphs compressed time and space. This process, known as the Industrial Revolution, began in Great Britain and eventually reshaped the entire globe. Manufacturing output exploded, cities grew, labor systems shifted, and with these changes came new pressures on states and societies. Why would industrialization increase conflict instead of stability? Because rapid economic change disrupts social order. When production, labor, and wealth shift quickly, political systems struggle to adapt, creating revolutionary tension. This reflects causation within the themes of economic systems and governance. Before revolutions erupted in the streets, they began on the page. Thinkers of the Enlightenment questioned monarchy, tradition, and inherited privilege. They argued that governments existed to serve the people, not the other way around. Jean-Jacques Rousseau, The Social Contract, declared that sovereignty rested with the people themselves. These ideas did not immediately topple governments, but they changed how people understood legitimacy. Once people believed authority could be questioned, authority was often questioned. Why are ideas more dangerous to governments than weapons? Because ideas reshape expectations. Once people believe change is possible, obedience becomes conditional. This anticipates revolutionary change in governance. By the late 1700s and early 1800s, we see a wave of political revolutions. In North America, colonists challenged British imperial authority. In France, revolutionaries dismantled monarchy and privilege. In Haiti, enslaved people overthrew a colonial system built on brutality. In Latin America, independence movements shattered European control. Each revolution had its own causes and outcomes, but all raised the same question: who should rule? Why did revolutions erupt across the Atlantic world and around the same time? It's because they shared Enlightenment ideas, economic pressures, and imperial control created similar conditions. This invites comparison across the regions. Not all revolutions were political. The Industrial Revolution transformed how people worked, lived, and related to one another. Machines replaced skilled labor. Factories replaced homes. Urban populations exploded. Child labor expanded. And wealth concentrated in new hands. Governments now faced unfamiliar challenges: regulating labor, managing cities, responding to inequality, and controlling economic instability. Why is industrialization considered revolutionary even without rebellion? Because it fundamentally altered production, labor, and social hierarchy. It reshaped daily life, demonstrating continuity and change over time within economic systems and within social organizations. Unit 5 also marks the rise of a new political form, the nation state. Before 1800, most people lived under empires. After 1800, people increasingly defined themselves by shared language, culture, and identity. At the same time, industrialization fueled massive migrations. Europeans moved voluntarily to the Americas and Australia. South Asians were coerced into labor in Africa. Africans continued to be forcibly transported through slavery. These movements transformed societies, blending cultures while deepening inequalities. How can migration both diversify and destabilize societies? It does so as it introduces new cultures and labor, but also competition and tension. Migration is both creative and disruptive, central to social interactions and organization. This unit is not about memorizing revolutions. It is about explaining why transformation happened, comparing how it unfolded, and judging how much actually changed. You will practice causation, why revolutions and industrialization occurred. Comparison, how different societies responded. You will also practice continuity and change, what truly transformed and what endured. What stayed the same even as revolutions spread. For the most part, what stayed the same was inequality, exploitation, and power struggles. They persisted. Revolutions changed who ruled, but not always how societies functioned. By 1900, the world had been remade, but not equally, not peacefully, and not completely. Some gained rights, others lost freedom. Some societies industrialized rapidly, others were reshaped by foreign power. The promises of liberty and progress coexisted with exploitation and resistance. Unit 5 is where modern history truly begins, because it is where people stopped asking how the world works and started asking how it should work. That question still echoes today. Thank you for joining me. I'm Mr. Hutchings with Mr. Hutchings History. And as always, continue to study history. It matters.